and that is remove the label. Pastor Stephen Furtick said the other day, he said, the moment I label it, I limit it. The second you put a label on yourself, you cap yourself off. You close off anything that God was trying to teach you or have you grow through. It's crazy, bro. For years, I used to label myself a small YouTuber. I used to take pride in that too. I used to think that was like, that was like a really cool, like, leader thing to say. If you go back to my old YouTube videos, bro, I would like low-key throw shade at other big YouTubers just because I was like bitter, just being real. And I'd say things like, oh, well, I don't have a team like these other guys do to help me dish out content every single day. I keep it real. I'm a lone wolf. I don't need no help. And therefore, for the last 10 years, I've done okay, but compared to all the other guys in my genre, they've passed me up like 5 or 10 times over because they were on a mission. And I was over here with my little lone wolf label that I placed up over my head, saying, I guess I'll just always be one of those small YouTubers that never makes it to 1 million. I guess God just wants me to struggle, so it builds character and humility. I'll freaking just wallowing in self-pity. And therefore, I got those things. I stayed stagnant at like 600K for like 2-3 years. My channel never really had any exponential growth. In fact, it was regressing at one point. And yeah, I gained humility, but I didn't build any value. Finally, a few months ago, I discovered my potential. I learned that everything in life, it starts from right here. What I think about myself, what I believe about me. So I started fresh. I removed all those labels and I stopped thinking about what I want to have, and instead, what do I want to be? Because hey, if you believe it, you become it. So now I tell myself things like, hey, I'm on my way and I got a new mission. I'm on the road to becoming a big, massive YouTuber. And now I don't take pride in being a Mr. Lone Wolf. Now I take pride in being a team. We literally just hired 4 guys. We've built a tribe. Now we're building this huge, massive online community. And that's what I take pride in now. I take pride in what we're all building here. This is a revolution. We're not just an army, hey, we're a rebellion. And not to sound cocky or anything, but look at my impacts now. We've gained almost 150,000 subscribers in the last 2 months, not even 2 months, because I decided to scrap my label. Get rid of it. Get rid of all the things I thought about myself. And now look at, bro, we built this community. Now you guys are going out impacting lives. You guys are starting your own YouTube channels. Now we got this Discord where we're all in there just encouraging each other, pushing each other, challenging each other to be better men. All this stemming from one little mediocre knucklehead guy like me changing the way he thinks about himself. Come on, bro. If I can do it, you can do it. With that said, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to hit the notification.
Where's he going? Oh, shit, oh, shit.
Hold on!
Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. I'm giving you a warning right up front. This video could be potentially considered graphic in nature. We're not doing it to show you graphic for the sensational element. I want to use this opportunity, what happened last December, to, while we entertain you, to also educate you a bit, because there was a lot of learning cues on this video. For any of you that follow the channel, you know I was involved in an accident during a shoot a while back. December 17th is the exact date, and I'll never forget that date because it was an impactful day. Like any other day, we went down to our buddy Dean's SoCal Classic Car Storage to shoot a video. It was our first time seeing this car or meeting the owner, Russ. And when he showed up, it was a knockout car. 64 Mercury Comet, beautiful metalwork on this car, hundreds of thousands of dollars spent building a 1,300 horsepower blown, gorgeous Mercury Comet.
People always say, so what did this cost you? I said 23 years, 208,000 and 2 wives. So I built the car on my own out of my garage, basically. This is a 632 Merlin big block Chevy with a 1471 BDS blower on it.
You're not going to the drag strip with this thing.
No, it's too much grief has been put into this to make this happen, to put it into a wall or do something stupid.
So in the 23-year process, something that didn't stand out to me at the time of the interview is he said he had done his brakes about 17 years ago on this car. Now the car hasn't been driven much, but brake technology has changed dramatically over the last 17 years.
You know, I've got a couple things on my wish list. Probably should put bigger brakes on it at the time. You know, you got to remember 23 years ago, no one had, 700 horsepower Hellcats and, 1,000 horsepower to the rear wheels was what,
So we get all our beauty shots, we get all the B-roll, and we do our interview. Now it's time to go for our drive where we're just doing casual rolling shots. Our roller shots are typically speed limit or close to it, nothing radical on our rollers. And so we get in a car that has harnesses, and I put on my lap belt, as does Russ. We're just doing casual driving, no big deal. Lap belt's just fine.
Is it okay to put should I just leave the harnesses and sit against them?
Yeah, that's what I do. I just put them in.
I highly recommend going forward, you guys put on your harnesses. If you don't have harnesses, I highly recommend putting them on. Here we go, down the road, right? Time to get some nice, beautiful rolling shots of this gorgeous Mercury Comet. We pull up to our first stoplight, which is, I don't even know if it's a mile away from where we've left from. As soon as we pull up to the light, I remember Russ throwing the car, automatic transmission, throwing it into neutral, and tapping the accelerator, and he tells me the accelerator's sticking at a give or take at about 2,200 RPMs. Again, not one we really thought about. I've had an accelerator stick before. You kick it, you're all good, right? So we take off down the road. Nice wide road, right? You got 3 lanes on each side. Really nice for cruising along, catching our rolling shots. We drive, give or take, it's about 1.5 miles, 2 miles max from where we started to where we do our turnaround. And as we pull into this area to turn around, we just start to drive, and I tell Russ, man, I smell a lot of brakes right now. He says, yeah, I've been having to ride them.
Yeah, I just turned the rotor. Plus I'm riding it. Because it idles.
So you gotta kind of be on it the whole time to go slow.
again, you know, this is one of those times, you guys, and I'm trying to build it to the point, ultimately what I want to do while we entertain you here is I want to educate you, because we've all been in a lot of these scenarios before and nothing happened, you know, like what happened on this day. So we drive down the road, you know, another, quarter mile or so. We come up to a stoplight. So we pull up to the light. Car stops, you know, just like Russ said, he's fine, he's got brakes. Yeah, we smell brakes, but we're fine. It surges a little bit because that accelerator's sticking. And then, this is what happens.
Hold on! Hold on! Hold on! Oh, fuck. There's nowhere to go.
So we take off like we always do. He picks up a little bit of speed, 45 to 50 miles an hour. Except for now, we see a red light ahead with cars stopped, and Russ puts the brakes on. And then I hear him say, no brakes. I hear him say, no brakes, no brakes. He's pumping, he's trying to get brake. There is no brakes. We're looking ahead, there's a red light, there's cars stopped across 2 turn lanes, 3 straight lanes. And you'll notice Russ swerves to the left. His goal here is that those turn lanes are about to get a green arrow, and he's gonna float in behind them. They don't get the green arrow. Now you'll notice we swerve back to the right. All the while, you'll notice definitely some sheer terror taking over my face, because now I'm looking ahead of me and I realize we've got a couple of seconds. Russ is definitely focused trying to figure out something. And the reality is now we've got, I don't know, a second or two before we're gonna hit cars. We're gonna hit stopped cars. And that's what happened, man. We, at about 45 miles per hour, we hit a minivan. We also lightly grazed off of another car. Because I was wearing the lap belt only, my face smacked the metal dashboard to the point where I left teeth marks and a dent in the metal dashboard. 4 new teeth later, about 30 stitches to put my blown up lip back together. Russ straight armed at the point of impact, natural response, you know, and completely blew out his right elbow. I find it interesting that at the point of impact, both of us, just an unconscious reaction within our bodies, both of us turned our heads to the left and closed our eyes. I wish closing my eyes would have made it all go away, but it didn't. And that's what happened, man. It was a brutal car crash. There's a lot of damage to Russ's car. Between both of us, a lot of dollars in hospital bills. There's points that I learned from this that I hope we can pass on to you guys, because a lot of us, I promise you, don't even put the thought into this. If your car doesn't have harnesses, put them on there, man. I highly recommend it, even if it's a shoulder harness, just to give you something more than a lap belt that all it does is simply hold you, for the most part, in the seat. I highly recommend, whether or not you're 100% sure that your brakes work, I can't recommend enough, regularly tech inspecting your car. They do it every time people go out to autocross, track days, any form of performance driving. Cars are getting teched. Regularly tech your car. Even if you're not a mechanic like me, take it to the guy that built your car. Take it to one of your buddies. Get your car tech inspected. I highly recommend it. Another thing I recommend, it's a rare thing to see on a custom muscle car, is a handbrake. I can't recommend enough. Yeah, it doesn't look as cool on your center console, no question about it. A nice little button for a hydraulic e-brake. I can't recommend enough a grab brake right here. Had we had one, who knows, maybe we would have slowed up enough that the impact wouldn't have been as dramatic to either one of us, to the person that we hit, or to the vehicle that Russ took 23 years to build. So that's the bad, the skinny, the gnarly, the nasty of what happened here. The good news is, as you can tell, I've for the most part healed up. I'm gonna, for the rest of my life, feel like I have a fat lip. Feels like I got popped in the mouth a couple days ago. Dealing with back pain, but I trust that we'll get all the way through this and I'll get my back to 100%. But doing really good. Like, I ride my motorcycle, I'm active, I'm back out living my life. Russ is doing great. We saw Russ a couple months back. He came up here to the shop to hang out one day, and he's doing really great. You know, his arm, he had most of his mobility back, was doing physical therapy, doing well. So gratefully, both of us are gonna get about as close as you can get to a full recovery from this. The car, at some point, Russ is gonna revisit it. Right now, it's just, you know, it's all too close. He's got a lot of things going on in his personal life, so the car's been put on hold for now. But at some point, he's gonna rebuild that car, get it back on the road, and I look forward to, believe me, when it's ready to go, I will get in the car with Russ again.